Hi. Says it was checking connections. I hope we're good. Yeah. Hope everyone's doing good. I missed the live last week, but it's just been crazy. Like, I can't believe it's already February. I hope the light's better. There we go. We're just waiting for Katrina right now. Cool. But anyways, hope you guys are doing good. If you are just catching the replay, welcome. I'm super excited about today's topic. So Katrina and I have known each other for years now. Gosh, I don't know how long it's been, but definitely a while. And she's totally killing it in real estate. So I'm super excited to have her on board. Hi, Wheel Dude. Hi, Collision Drumsticks. I don't know if it's Carlton. Hey, Lucy. How are you? Just waiting for Katrina right now. Let me see where she's at. Okay, I have like Instagram on in the background. I was having some connection issues earlier, so this is like the second time. Let's see. Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, Katrina's like a rock star, so I'm super excited to have her on here. Let's see where she's at. Oh, there she is. Awesome. Hey, Katrina. I'm going to bring you on up. I think this is our first live ever, so I'm like... Says it's checking connection.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, you look so pretty. How are you?
I'm so sorry. I have no idea how this works. So I was like sitting
You're
there
fine,
just
you're
waiting.
fine.
And I thought it was like a FaceTime call. So I was like, oh, I guess she's not going to call after all.
No, you're fine, you're fine. Are you using a filter right now? If you are, you have to kind of like scoot back a little bit because it zooms into your face. So I'll tell you where it's
Like that?
perfect. Yeah,
Is that
scoot back a
perfect?
little bit more.
More?
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
scoot back a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. With Instagram filters, it'll be this much of your face. So I'm like trying to give you a heads up.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I've only done this like one other time. So
oh,
it's
great.
like, yeah. But you're on my iPad because I tried to do it on my phone once and it was so tiny, I couldn't see anything. So I was like, is anybody commenting? Like, is there
Oh,
anyone
I
there?
know. Lots
Yeah,
of
I couldn't tell.
good. So I mean, I saw Carlton, Lucy, a couple of other
You
folks.
did?
I'm
Oh,
trying,
Lucy,
yeah,
hi.
I'm trying not to get distracted. But anyways, welcome. Thanks so
Yeah, thanks for
much.
having me.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon or this morning, wherever you're joining us from. So I made it back to the States. So we're coming to you live here from Denver, Colorado. And I'm super excited that all of you guys are hanging out with us. So welcome to another one of these episodes of another boss interview with such incredible individuals. And I'm super excited to be featuring Katrina. And so like all of these professionals that come on here live with me, they are here to drop value and knowledge bombs, and be sure to take notes because I'm sure you're going to hear something that's going to help you move forward in your business. So I'm super excited about today's guest. Like I said, Katrina and I have known each other for years.
Oh my
So
God, like what, 15 years?
no,
Maybe?
don't say it. I'm like,
Is
oh my
it
God.
15 years? I mean, we're only 18, so like we literally
I
knew each
know.
other when we were 3 years old.
I
So I don't
know.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I was just saying my gray hairs are coming in, so I'm like trying to hide them because it's like, oh God, I need to get those done. But
I've
anyways.
had, how old were you when you got your first gray?
Oh, I was like 19.
I was 12.
What? You're
Yes.
kidding.
Yes,
No
I was
way.
12. Yeah. My
Oh my.
mom had premature gray hairs, and so I got that great gene, of course.
Me too, except like, well, and my brother too, except for his hair, it's super thick, but it's just kind of like dotted around. But mine is like right in the front, so I'm just like, dang
Oh,
it.
really? Oh, no. Well, this is what annoys me about aging is that, like, when guys get grays, it's like, oh my God, they have the salt and pepper look, like they're so sexy.
Yeah.
And then when you get a gray, then everyone's like, oh my God, you look like an old hag. And I'm like, what? Can I be wise and sexy
I
as
know.
well? Like, what the fuck?
Double
Oh my God,
standard.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss.
Anyway, oh, It's okay. It's okay. I'll edit that out actually. So anyways, so I'd love to introduce you all to Katrina. So she's a service-centered real estate agent who's on a mission to help people turn their dream of of homeownership into a reality. To her, there's nothing more rewarding than providing compassionate advocacy to hardworking individuals who are making the most important financial decisions of their lives. So Katrina is also a five-star professional winner over the last 2 years, and she's also known for putting her clients' needs.
Four. I think I'm four now.
Oh, four.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it's fourth now. I don't remember.
You have to update your bio. I got this from your website.
Oh, okay. I was like, dang, that makes me sound so good. Like, where did she get that from?
So Katrina is also known for putting her clients' needs first and being an integrity-driven step every step of the way. So thank you so much for being on this Q&A today.
Yeah, thank you so much for reaching out and having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So I'd love to get started. Can you first tell us about your journey and how you got into this space? Like, how did you end up in real estate?
Oh, okay. So I was actually doing PR and marketing for a really long time. And you know, I've always been really good at selling things. And so I think I would say it's kind of like a quarter life crisis, but I had a quarter life crisis and I just wanted to do something that was more worthwhile and more meaningful, because marketing was fun, but it wasn't what I envisioned myself doing. And I realized that I really like working with people. I wanted to do something that would allow me to build better relationships with people, because what I was doing before was just slapping logos on promo products and doing social media, and it's fine, but it wasn't fulfilling for me. So when I was going through that phase, my mom suggested that I go into real estate. And so, I mean, you know me for a long time. I've always been really rebellious. So obviously I didn't listen to my mom. Yeah, I've always been a very, very rebellious person. And so I didn't listen to her. But after a while, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just try it and see what happens. What do I have to lose? Because at this point, I was completely lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so as soon as I picked up the real estate book, I'm like, oh my God, where has this been? I just felt like it was just honestly just perfect, in every single way. And I found it so interesting. And so it wasn't like I watched a show and thought it'd be cool to be a realtor. I wish I would have done a little bit more research, because it's a really hard career, but but I definitely don't regret a single day of it. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
what would you say is, if you had to narrow it down to one thing, what would you say is the one most favorite thing about your work?
I think it's the people. I honestly love my clients and I love the people I get to work with every single day. And it's just, honestly, it's just so rewarding to see them when they first walk into a place and their eyes light up and they're super excited.
Oh.
And it's to me, it's that journey, to get them to the beginning stages of getting their pre-approval and then finding the right house for them. It's just there's just something really magical about it that I can't really describe. And sometimes, once they do find that house, it's just I don't know. I just have these moments where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I do this for a living. And it's just so, that's probably my favorite part. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. Well, and I love what you've done as far as just branding yourself as the home matchmaker, because that's what I think of you too when I refer people your way. I'm like, Katrina's a home matchmaker. She'll sort you out.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah. And it's true. Because I think for me, I don't know, it's interesting because the way that I work is not necessarily selling the house, because I feel what a kitchen looks like, what a bedroom looks like. I don't need to go in there and sell you on the cabinets. You know what you like, right? But there's but the thing that sells, or I guess the thing that that I'm aware of is when you walk in and you're like, oh my God, automatically you're like, I could have Christmas dinner here. Or I could, my kids could run in this room and we could have a little play area. And then I could set my home office here. when those ideas start like entering your mind and then you get like this almost this like emotional attachment to it, then that's when you know it's the right property for you. So that's like honestly like probably my favorite. Yeah. So
That's very good. Well, I'm super
yeah.
excited about today's topic and having you on today to talk a little bit more about being a woman in business. Can you talk a little bit about your experience and like how that journey was for you too?
Um, I mean, it's hard, right? Like I think being a woman in business, like there's kind of this stigma of like how you're supposed to be. So like, if you're like too assertive, then you're kind of a B word. And if you're like a pushover, then you're not a good businesswoman. And I think that you have to kind of have a little bit of a balance, so you can't be in you can't have like you can't be in two extremes, so you have to really like find a happy medium, so you could be respectful and also be assertive and fight for your clients and stuff like that. So I think that that's the difficult thing. I think the other thing is like just kind of dealing with like weird people on your DMs and
Yep.
creepers and stuff like that. So I think that's the unfortunate thing, because it's like I know that's like part of being, having a public profile and stuff like that. So that's kind of difficult. But I think that having a solid foundation is really important. And then also being able to balance your life, because I feel like I don't know if you feel this way, but like I feel like as a woman, there's so much pressure. Like you got to be gorgeous at
Like,
all times. You got
yes.
to wear a size 0. You got to be fit and eating healthy, and then you got to crush it in your career,
Yeah.
and then you got to be the best friends, and
Mhm.
like just all of these expectations. And I feel like as like a woman in business, listen, like successful Katrina is not going to be the best friend Katrina. Okay. Like there's going to be certain days that I'm going to have to give up something. And I had to like learn to just I guess, be a little bit more empathetic towards myself and realize that like it's not realistic to be, perfect and a badass all the time. Sometimes you're tired and sometimes
Yeah.
you need to take a nap, or sometimes, sometimes there's things that fall through, or whatever. And so I think that that's important to realize, that yes, you could be in business, but also understand that there's like that expectation is what you set for yourself, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because at this, like I said, it's not real. And
Yeah. No,
you will just burn out quicker if you think that that's a reality. It's not.
no, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because it's like sometimes like that pressure, like it comes from society, parents, friends, like even on yourself too. And it's so important to remember to be kind to yourself. But there's something that you
Yes.
said earlier too about like, how like, if you're too assertive, right, you're too bossy, or you're too much of a B word, right? It's interesting though, because there's like that balance where you still have to step into your own power and still like, claim that, because you are credible, you are worthy, but do it in such a way where you're not like stepping on other people too. Because that's the other thing I see with women in business, is that it gets like super catty, right? So like
Yes.
not how it should be. It should be about like
No.
equity and collaboration over competition, right?
Right. Because it's like almost like they view it as like the spots for women are limited, and so
Uh-huh.
there's like X amount of spots, and if she takes it, then she takes that away from me. And it's like, no, 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 no. We could There's plenty of room for all of us. We just don't need to be behaving that way. But I also feel that, if you could lift someone up, then you should do that. Like I feel like anything that you learn, you need to learn to pass that on. It's not that, like I notice like the people who are like, when they get advice or something, they have to, like, they hold it really close and they're like, oh my God, someone's gonna take it from me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not how the world works. In order for you to I guess, to be successful, you have to like give back that success to someone else and be able to share it. And honestly, like, why add that unnecessary stress to yourself too, that you need to create some sort of drama to
Yeah.
put someone else down? It's an insecurity. If you're secure in yourself, you don't need to be doing that to people. And honestly, happy people don't do that either. So,
Yes, yeah,
so
no,
yeah. So sometimes
100%.
when I have situations like that, then I think I kind of approach it in a more empathetic way, where I'm just like, this person is hurting in some sort of way, and that's not on me, but they're projecting it onto me. I don't need to be attached to that.
Mhm.
So, once they figure it out, call me. But if not, that's okay too,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all good. Yeah.
That's such a great tip. And I know that, you were like on time as well, so I want to keep you on time.
Yeah.
So
If it
can you,
goes over, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
okay.
Yeah.
All good. So another thing that comes up with this too, because I feel like there was this statistic that I read that was shocking. Like a lot of women are actually afraid to go in business for themselves, and a very, very small percentage do, because there's also those expectations. And we haven't even talked about like motherhood yet, but that's like another thing that comes up for a lot of women too, where it's like they want to do all the things, right? So
Right.
can you debunk the myth that women have to fall into like a certain type of role and they are worthy of going after what they want?
You should always go for whatever you want in life. Life is too short. Like like, and I just don't think that I would focus on what do you want to give. You know what I mean? If you could focus on your mission, everything else doesn't matter. So when you're focusing on like, I need to be that successful business person and stuff like that, it's never going to happen,
Yeah.
because you have to be able to define exactly what that is. And so if you're so and like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, you walk in, like, how much are you selling? Like, what are you
Totally.
doing? So I think that that's like the strangest thing. It's like this almost, when you're trying to buy into an ideal, you're never going to get there. But
Yeah.
if you're like, hey, I love selling candles. Cool. How many candles? Like, why does this matter to you? Like, what is the purpose of this? And like, if you could focus on your why, and why you want to do this, and look beyond yourself, then I think it's going to be a lot easier. So I don't think that there's necessarily a role. I think that maybe that's like a limitation of what you set for yourself.
Mhm.
And I think that you have to remove yourself from that, and remove that pressure. Like, you're gonna fail a few times. In my case, maybe a lot of times, you know. But it's like it's it's okay if you do, because
Yeah.
nobody's watching. I think that's the most important thing. Everybody thinks it's like everyone's watching you, and if you slip,
Yeah.
then oh my God, your whole world is gonna fall apart. And the funny thing is that when you slip, no one really notices, because
Exactly.
they're in their own journey. So yeah, so I would say remove yourself from that completely.
Oh, I
It
love
doesn't
that.
it doesn't serve you. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that advice because it's like I feel like because I used to be like that where I used to get really bad post anxiety or even like showing up online and stuff too where I'm just like, oh, what are people gonna think, But you have to realize like they're also worrying about the same things. Like
Yeah.
so
And,
funny.
and and plus, like I said, like, they don't expect you to be perfect,
Mhm.
and you shouldn't expect that from yourself
Yeah.
either. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I think that the best entrepreneurs and the best like business people I know are the ones with the most humility, and they're a hot mess, but I love them for
Totally.
it. And they own it. They're not sitting there trying to make sure that everything is perfect at all times, because if you're in business long enough, you know that everything hits, like, crap hits the fan all the time, and you just have to learn how to adapt. So yeah, so that would be like my best advice.
Yeah, no, that's huge. So what would you
Yeah,
say are your top three tips for women wanting to go into business for themselves?
I would say go for it. Go for it. Don't worry about the end result. Don't fall in love with the end result. Like, don't think that you're gonna just get there. You know what I mean? It's about the journey. So focus on the journey, fall in love with the process.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the biggest thing for you, because I've never been told that before. And then when I learned that, I was like, oh man, I was
Yeah.
so focused on the end result that I didn't enjoy the process of learning at all. And now I'm all about learning, and I try not to focus on that, because if I don't get there, I don't want to be you know, hard on myself as to like, why didn't I get there? Like, am I not good enough? And I think that's when you get into the wrong headspace. Number two, I forgot what was the first. Number two. I think number two is like just remembering like your why. Oh wait, did I say that for the first one? I can't remember.
No, it's all good. Like, I think we covered it earlier, but it's all good. I think that's good to reiterate that too, because like,
yeah, remembering your why and why you're doing this and why you're getting into business, and you know, what kind of lifestyle that you want for yourself. Like before, I used to want to be the $1 million real estate agent, but you know, I don't anymore, because the reason being is because I don't get to have that same relationship with my clients like I have now. You know what I mean? So I think that's also defining what that means to you, and really, really clearly define it. Don't make it so ambiguous, because if it's so ambiguous, then when you get to that point, you don't even know if you got there, because you didn't define it clear enough. And then also, like, I think the third would probably be just working on your self-worth and having a solid foundation for yourself. Like, you know, making sure that you meditate, that you work out, that you take care of yourself, right? Because sometimes, like, when we get, especially when you get into business, it's like everybody wants to be the hustler, the grinder, and that's not success. That's slavery.
Totally.
So right. So you have to have a balance of like what that means to you, and then be able to create that structure for yourself. So like, for example, regardless of how busy I am, I meditate every morning. I do my affirmations, I do gratitudes, and I work out every morning. I don't look at my phone, because I need to learn how to prioritize myself. Then I could be the best version of myself for other people. But if I don't do that, and if I'm not taking care of myself, then how am I able to take care of other people? So I think that that's really important. And don't feel like, regardless if you like have kids or whatever, even like 10 minutes of working out is better than nothing at all. So yeah, and you don't have to have like a J-Lo booty, okay? Like, come on.
Like, you know, it's if you just get your heart rate up like really, really high for at least like 10 minutes a day, that's still really good, because sitting is like the new smoking. But you hit on some good topics, and I definitely just want to highlight what you said about like enjoying the journey. Like, as cliche as it sounds, like, you totally have fun with it, and don't chase the end result. Like, if you get too attached to the outcomes, you know, you're never gonna like get there, if that makes sense. Because like, once you get there, is it gonna feel like it's enough, right? Because it's like you're gonna be constantly chasing money, so not the best way to go. So I definitely love that you hit on some of those. So if you're joining us live, I hope you caught that. If not, catch the replay and then make sure you take notes. So last question, I always love to end these Q&As with action steps. What is the one action step you would recommend to these young professionals and young entrepreneurs to do today to move their business forward?
I would say get a mentor. Get someone that knows more than you. You know what I mean? And be open into like taking those lessons in. Because I think that when you're running your business, like, you feel like you there's this like, I don't know, this weird pressure that you have to know the answers to everything, and you don't. You know what I mean? Like, I focus on what you're good at, and then hire for everything else. So I would say, like, get a mentor, someone that knows more than you, but also be like humble enough to take the advice, regardless of how painful the advice is, because there are times where you're like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that I was doing that, but like, thanks for bringing it up to my attention. And I think that that's really important, is to just like be able to seek that type of advice. And yeah, so I think that would be like, my biggest advice on that. And then, you know, and not be afraid of failure, because you're going to fail, but just know that there's a lesson attached. You learn more from failure than you do from your successes, I believe. And so I think that embracing the journey, embracing the failures, and, you know, and you know, honestly forgive yourself, okay? Like if
Yeah.
you had a shit day, just it's all good. Just own it. It's totally okay. And you know, no one is expecting you to be the most perfect human being on earth. So, yeah,
Totally
for
agree. I
sure.
love that. Well, and I love
Yeah.
about like, just around failures, right? There's this like quote I read. It's like your scars are your stars, right? Because you end up can you
Yeah.
like teach that to other people too, and you can learn from them. But thank you so much for being on here today, girl. Like you just dropped like so much gold. So like that was awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I'm so glad that you're doing this. And I think it's a phenomenal thing that what you're doing for women. So I really admire that.
Thank you, thank you. And I appreciate that. Well, and it's been so inspiring, like hearing more about your story and your advice. Like I didn't actually know how you got into real estate. I just knew like one day you were doing it and you started killing it. So I'm like, sell my house, Katrina.
I don't know, I was like ever really killing it, but like, thank you. I mean, it's like it's like definitely hard. I think like my biggest thing with real estate was I thought it was I don't know if you're dealing with if you've ever dealt with this, but I was struggling with imposter syndrome
Oh yeah.
for years, and I had no idea because I just always felt like, man, I didn't belong there, or do I really deserve this? And I just felt like I struggled with that. And I think that, like I said, just focusing on my why just made like kind of shredded all of that, and to
Yeah.
remind myself that I deserve to be there. And so now I feel like a lot more confident as a professional. But for years, I definitely didn't feel that way at all. Like, and
Mhm.
if it showed, I mean, I guess I was really good at faking it, but like, I was definitely not confident at all. I really, really struggled with that. I don't know if you did as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, no, totally. I can totally relate because I feel like in the beginning it was tough because I'm just like I was struggling it with like hardcore. And then like it wasn't until I
Yeah.
started to like make it about I wouldn't make it about me anymore. I tried to just make it about the client always. And then that helped me
Yeah.
way more confident because it's like the minute you
Right.
make it about you, it's like it's no longer about the client anymore. And like at the end of the day, you want to help them make decisions that are in their best interest. So
Yeah.
that definitely helps. So
Yeah.
oh good.
And overcoming your own ego.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, check it at the door.
I didn't realize like how much ego like sabotages all of your like all like right like everything. So like ego has no room in relationships. It has no room in friendships. It doesn't have any room in business. But like yet it's present. So like it's like learning how to overcome your ego and doing what's best even when it's hard, you know? And so I think that that's really really difficult to do because you know, you want to I think that like sometimes I think that you know like a lot of I watch a lot of these like, you know, women empowerment and stuff like that, and I love that. But at the same time, it's feeding that ego,
Yeah.
right? And I don't think that that's the right
Yeah.
way to do it. I think that it's like, yes, be a badass, but what is part of your badassery? Like what are you giving? And then when you could focus on what you give instead of feeding your ego, because once you start feeding your ego, anyone who doesn't feed your ego is your enemy. And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's not going to give you the life
Mhm.
that you want. So you
Totally.
have to overcome that. And I think that's a really difficult thing. And to realize that, you know, you may not be what you thought you were, but
Mhm.
that's okay. You know, at least you know that there's going to be this journey to allow you to get to, you know, to allow you to push yourself to get to that level, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like it's just like a thought I had this morning. I was like, that's like a really good that's
Yeah.
a really good way
It's
to go about it.
so true. I definitely want to leave everyone with that tip too, because it's like as especially like, as business owners or sales professionals, like you're constantly making decisions day to day to day, right? But it's to leave you with that, like definitely think is like when you're making decisions, is it coming from a place of ego or is it truly gonna like come from a place of love and serving others, right? So
Yeah.
thank you
And
so much,
being the
girl.
bigger person
Yeah.
sucks. Like it sucks. Okay. So like don't like it's not like, oh my God, you know, I'm like such a good person. And it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it sucks, right? And it hurts. but it's necessary, right? So sometimes, you know, you have to make those proper sacrifices and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna like promote it and say that it's a great thing. It hurts.
It's hard, yeah.
It's definitely
So
hard. Yeah.
good. Well, so for people with more questions or wanting to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
They could check out my Instagram. It's katrina.realtor. Or you could, I don't know, like, do I give out my email? I don't
Oh
know.
no, you're fine.
Okay, no.
Well, I am gonna
Here's
have
my
to
phone number.
no,
No, don't call me. Yeah,
you're fine.
just like
You're
reach
fine.
out to my my Instagram. I check it daily, and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, feel free to reach out with anything. Yeah.
Hi. For your time and for everyone that's joining us live today, thank you so much. And I hope that you also got a lot of gems from today's live because Katrina was just dropping bombs like here, here, and here, and here. I was just like, this is so good. So if not, you know, if you're catching the replay, definitely let me know your thoughts and feedback. As always, I am planning to have Katrina back here in the near future. So I'm super excited. But if you have any topics that you'd love to hear from her about, DM me and let me know. Any final thoughts from you, Katrina?
No, I'm just so grateful to be here, and I'm just so glad that people are watching at all.
Oh, whatever, girl. This was awesome. So thank you so much. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. And
Yeah, thank
I'll hit you
you.
up soon too, so we can schedule the next dates. But thank
Yeah,
you so
for
much.
sure.
You're
All
awesome.
right.
This has been
Yeah, thank you. Okay, all right. See you.
fun.
Bye.